don't see the light. Did you record?
It's recording.
I don't see the light.
It says record.
So I'm Clyde, the native son, the indigenous one, always on the one. We got Aaron Jones in the way here. I need y'all to tell me what it is that you do.
I guess that the best way to describe it would be, the best way to describe it, we're translators, I guess, is the best way I could think of describing what we do. We are trying to bring back blues to a generation, so I guess that's the best way I can describe it. I'm a guitar player. Conrad here plays the drums. We got deandre on bass, old school kind of guitar trio, kind of like the old school cats used to do. Jimmy, Stevie, all those cats used to do back in the day.
Sunray. All right. This is the thing. My question to you is this. How difficult is it to bring back a traditional sound to a generation that's used to electronic sound?
It's very hard. It's very difficult.
Why is that?
Because like we've been, I mean, we grew up in it's a generation of electronic music. It's a generation of.
Okay. Excuse me. Just a sec. Appreciate it.
Sorry, we're trying to do an interview, man. So just to answer your question, I guess the reason it's hard is because we grew up in this digital era of hip hop, R&B, and electronic sound, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just the sign of the times. So unfortunately, what happens is you end up losing your way, so to speak. You know, and
clear it up a little bit because I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Because I'm used to natural instruments and natural sound, and people actually play instruments.
Yeah.
But explain to your audience, what does that mean?
That means we've forgotten how to play instruments. We grew up in this digital age where, sure enough, there are still producers that can play keys and whatnot, but we have forgotten our way. There's not too many live musicians around anymore. There are cats that have gone to school and play jazz music and whatnot. The real musicians are not on center stage. Sure enough, you got cats. You got you got John Mayer doing his thing.
John Mayer's been ripping off Hendrix.
Yeah.
We all know that.
We got John Mayer doing his thing right now. But a lot of the rock bands are doing their thing too. But even still, there's no more age of guitar slingers.
But the whole thing about it is, my observation has been that most of the bands that are out, that are bands, are like 20 years old.
That's true.
And you guys are only 20 years on the earth.
Yeah, that's true. This is true. This is true. I just, you know what, man, the band is a compilation of just, I've gone through many different people. The way has changed many different times,
So this is the way right now.
This is the way. This is the way, you know what I'm saying?
This is the way we gonna go.
By far the best band I ever had.
Okay.
Just like Jimmy, had to switch musicians and the experience.
Until he wound up with what he wound up
with. It was Buddy Cox and Mitch Mitchell. So he wound up with those cats. That is what it ended up being. You know what I'm saying? So this is the way. This is the best sound I've had in a long time. I've gotten the most compliments from this band. This band is probably the most premier band I've had in a long time. So I feel like we can go really far with this group.
But what I appreciate about the way all of you play is that the focus is there, and it shows your devotion to the craft. In other words, each one of you individually has learned your instrument, and you know how to fuse it together in a way that makes old heads like me proud. I'm proud to see you play.
Right.
And I say that with no hesitation because I find it distressing when somebody gets on stage with a track and then they get this like inflated head about what they've done, and all we've heard is the track.
Absolutely.
And I have a problem with that. You've already spoken enough. Do you two speak enough? You the drummer? What does it take to hold us down?
Well,
Speak up now.
definitely gotta keep up with Mr. Aaron himself.
Which is hard.
Yes.
Not to mention he's a taskmaster. He has great. He do like the James Brown thing. No, but you need to let the people out there know how difficult it is to follow this tradition right now. Being the age you. Because I know you're tempted sometimes to just throw on a track and be like, yeah, say ho. That's easy. But it's hard to be like, and actually keeping time. But you got to explain it to the people. Why is that? Why did you decide to do that? Why did you decide to take that path?
Well, I just have a passion for the instrument itself. It just, I don't know, it's just something that I didn't go the other way that everybody else would.
But why is that? That's my question.
Well-
Why didn't you go the other way? Why didn't you take the easy path and just like program a drum machine and just sit back and be like, why did you decide to actually play the drums?
Well, I didn't want to do a whole lot of work on the instrument. Look back and just put it on the track. I can play it myself, but better.
Okay. I'll go with that. What do you have to add to that?
Well, I think it's easy if you love it, you know? So it's like, it might be hard if you don't want to do it. For a long time, I thought I didn't want to do it because music is the family business for me.
Okay, explain
from the day I
that.
was-
Elaborate on that. It's a family.
Well,
What? Your father sold
everybody-
records? What are you saying?
Everybody in my family is a musician, and
So you got it
from
easy.
day one, my mom was like, "You're gonna be a musician," and I was like, "Nah, I'm not being a
So you
musician.
had no
I'm
choice.
getting a good job. I'm gonna make some money. We're gonna have food when I grow up."
Yeah, food is
You
good.
know,
Food is important.
good. So a steady income is nice too, but my mom still she forced me to like start playing guitar when I was young, and I never really even wanted to get into the game, and then after a while, I
But you
just
were
kind
born
of fell
into
into
it,
the bass.
man.
Exactly. Exactly.
You like 2 generations deep from what you're telling me.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody in my family was musicians, so you know it's easy when you love it. Because for me, it's like a love-hate. So now I love it, and it comes easily. But you know, I've done gigs with tracks, and personally, like I have a respect for all forms of expression. Like
I can go along with that.
anytime somebody gets up on stage and does their thing, I automatically give them at least a modicum of respect because that's difficult in and of itself. Even if they're like the wackest person you've ever seen.
Just the
in
fact
your
they got
life,
up on stage, they
just
get
the
props.
fact they're doing what they're doing, I give them a little bit of respect because I know what that feels like. But at the same time, like, you know, there's definitely something to be said for young people, like actually playing instruments and putting some art into it. You know, like there's a difference between people who just take an old school track, just take the beat, don't even change anything,
Yeah.
and flow on top of that,
Trust
and
me.
people who actually put some art
Old
into
school
production.
heads know. Because see, let me tell you what it sounds like to us, being an old school head. What it sounds like is somebody took your favorite song, truncated it, and then threw some bullshit on top. It's like, don't do that. You know, because it's like, I'm ready to sing the chorus, and the chorus ain't even there.
It never
You know,
comes.
I mean, you know, it's like, you know, my man 50 Cent, he did that with a couple of Marvin Gaye songs, and yo, it's a lot of old heads that's mad about that.
Right.
Like, you don't, Come With Me Angel, you don't do, no, that's like spitting on Beethoven. You don't do that.
Right.
You don't do that. But anyway, let me close off by saying this. I appreciate the fact that you young brothers are playing. 20, 30, 50 years from now, you will probably understand the significance of all of this. This is history. Not the least of which that you're all African American playing in one group. This is history. And it's not just a color thing, it's a culture thing. It's an American culture thing. And please understand that. You are substantiating and perpetuating American culture. Do you realize that cultures around the world listen to America to see what the direction is? When we brought jazz to France, that's when France became like a jazz country. Do you understand that? So now the world is playing hip hop right now. And it's like, that's cool on some levels, but it's not really from the heart in my opinion. So please, keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Anyway, SoundCloud, Native Son, always on the one. Never to be outdone, the indigenous one. Got my man Evan on camera, and
Yes, sir.
that's how we done.
Jah Rastafari. Praise Jah every day.
You know this.
We out.